Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, what's the stupidest reason you ever skipped work? Also, a new travel trend that involves doing absolutely nothing. All that and more on the way next. Hey, thanks for downloading the Hudson Show. I think you're really going to love this app. We've got Nikki and NayNay coming up all in due time. But first, I want to start with this. A Kickstarter has been launched in Europe for something called Paint Cam. It is a home security system that uses cameras to detect intruders and then shoot them with paintballs or possibly even tear gas. If you're interested, it starts about $1,400 to get in on this thing. And it seems like a good idea on the surface. Yeah, you want to keep intruders away, but what are ADT and Nest cams, whatever, that just shows you that somebody intruded after it's already too late. This takes matters into its own hands. The security system starts pelting them with paintballs to chase them off of your yard and make them easily identifiable to the authorities later on. I get all that, but there's a couple problems. One is that this thing could totally go Looney Tunes on you, right? And you come home and it's meant to detect intruders, but instead you've had a long day at work and for some reason this thing thinks you aren't who you are and starts pelting you with paintballs and tear gas. Obviously, that's a foible that you would have to avoid and be wary of. But not only that, in the United States, apparently this is illegal just about everywhere because it counts as a booby trap. And when you think about it that way, if the word booby trap starts to enter your mind as a reasonable way to deal with people that are causing you havoc in your life, you're probably at least as crazy as them. I mean, you're not Rambo. Nobody in real life in 2024 should be setting booby traps. It's the Hudson Show. Last night in London, it was one of the UK stops for Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, and it was a unique experience for all of the Swifties in attendance because they got to see Travis Kelce perform with Taylor Swift on stage. At least that's how it's being presented. When they say perform, of course, for me, I think, oh, she let him sing? She didn't. He came out on stage. He carried her around a bit as part of the show. He was dressed in a getup for the show, but he didn't actually sing, which would have been really noteworthy. But just the fact that Taylor even let him out on stage is huge news because you have to think about this, right? Like Taylor Swift doesn't need Travis Kelce to come out and help her on stage. She's got a show that's going 100% just fine without him being involved whatsoever, which makes me think that as long as they've been going out, probably he's been bothering her. He's been like, hey, when are you going to let me on stage? I think I could do it pretty good. I think I'm pretty athletic. I think I'm pretty talented. And you show up at my football games all the time and you don't even play football. But me, I can dance. I can sing. You got to let me on stage. And finally, last night, after about a year of them going out, she's finally like, fine, Travis, you can come out. But you know what that means is that she really loves him, which is beautiful. If you're the type of person that thinks dipping French fries in ice cream or your McFlurry or Frosty is disgusting, you're going to hate this. 16 Handles Frozen Yogurt Shop has just come out with, you guessed it, French fry frozen yogurt available for a limited time. Literally, they're not saying, hey, use the French fries as a mix-in. They're saying, we've done it for you. We've made the frozen yogurt taste like French fries, which had me actually realize, what do French fries taste like? I mean, especially if they're unsalted, they taste like what? I mean, I don't know. But so I guess this frozen yogurt tastes mostly like salt and oil, I suppose, which when you put it that way, does not sound particularly appetizing. But then again, for me, I actually love the combo of French fries dipped in a Frosty or a milkshake. So I could see this. Possibly, I can see at least the idea behind it. Not only are they offering this, they're also using the opportunity to throw shade at McDonald's. A lot of the ads for this are saying things like, sorry, our French fry machine is down, and things like that. So if you find yourself needing a French fry McFlurry fix and McDonald's just can't deliver for you, if you happen to live near a 16 Handles, apparently they can. NayNay is with me. NayNay, you look so excited.
I'm so excited because I'm ready to eat some more food.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I'm ready to dive into whatever it is that you are going to feed me, Hudson. So what are we doing?
Well, I can't tell you, of course, but if you take a look, you will probably be able to observe that it is of the Cheeto variety. How do you feel about Cheetos?
I love Cheetos, but it comes with any other type of chip. It could be Lay's. It could be Pringles. Cheetos, I'm always going to get the original of whatever flavor it is. Listen, I'm simple when it comes to my food. I'm crazy everywhere else, but when it comes to food, I just keep it simple.
Do you do crunchy or puffy or balls?
Oh, I'm definitely doing like the, what are these again? The crunchy ones? Crunchy?
Yeah, crunchy.
Yeah, I'm doing crunchy. I'm not doing the balls. I'm not doing the puffs. No, I'm not a fan
I mean,
of
I
them.
enjoy the balls and puffs, but the crunchy ones are the ones that really get me.
Well, what do we have here then?
We have some crunchy Cheetos, and that is all I can say until after you taste
You're not going to tell me the flavor?
No, I'm not going to tell you the flavor.
They look spicy.
I'm afraid if I tell you the flavor, you won't eat it.
Is it spicy? Dude, you should have got me water or something. Dude, I swear. Hudson, I swear. This is spicy. This is getting spit right back in this cup.
You need the trash can or...
No, I'll be fine. Oh, my God.
All right, well, while you try to talk yourself into it, I don't want to try these. I'm excited about these.
Why? Okay, here we go. Dude, okay.
Oh, yum, yum. Oh, that's actually not as different from...
This is spicy, isn't it?
It is spicy. It's not too... Just the one.
I don't even know what flavor this is, dude.
It's spicy. It's spicy flavor. He's walking away. It's not even that spicy. I'm starting to sweat, Hudson. I'm starting to sweat. This is the Flamin' Hot Cajun Cheddar Cheetos. They're brand new. I don't know if I get after one bite a lot of Cajun flavor. They kind of just taste like hot Cheetos. But oh gosh, hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Really lightheaded right now.
He's lightheaded from a Cajun Cheeto.
A Cajun. Oh my God!
I'm just gonna have more of these. The good news is I don't think I have to share. It sounds like.
Oh no, these are all yours. You can take them. I don't want these.
But they're so good.
The flavor wasn't bad. The spice though.
Would you ever? Okay, I had a couple more. I'm starting to get more of the Cajun. Would you ever do that thing? I know you hate spicy stuff, but what if it was canceled out? Some people love putting Flamin' Hot Cheetos on ice cream. Would you do that?
Does that cancel out the flavor?
Well, yeah, it's cold and hot. It's like icy hot.
Okay, so at that point, I would just not eat them separate. I wouldn't eat them together. I'd eat them separately. I'm not trying to Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I'm not trying to Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I watched that one.
You just did. These are Flamin' Hot.
I'm not doing it again. See, the thing is, you didn't tell me about what was in these Cheetos beforehand.
Hey, look at you. You're fine now. You're fine.
Me that I wouldn't have tried them. That's the difference here. There's levels to this. There's levels.
I think you did well. You had one, and look at you, less than 3 minutes after, and you're completely fine.
I feel better. Still a little lightheaded.
You didn't even have any water or anything.
I'm going to be running to the restroom immediately after we turn the cameras off.
I've actually got a question here that's going to require the Hudson hotline.
877-2-RADIO-U.
Go ahead and chime with your answer on this one. A question I was asked over the weekend. What is the stupidest reason you've ever called off of work? And this doesn't have to be, I'm not saying the stupidest excuse you've given. I'm not saying that you told the truth when you did call off, but you know in your heart, this is why I called off of work. 877-2-RADIO-U, the stupidest reason you've ever skipped a day of work. For me, the first thing that initially came to mind is when I got pink eye as a grown man. I had to call into work and say, hey, I have pink eye. One, it's really uncomfortable. Two, I guess I don't want to give pink eye to anybody else. And so I'm taking the day off. Very embarrassing. And it was compounded by the fact that not only did I get pink eye once as an adult, I got it again several months later. Like within the span of a year, I got pink eye somehow twice. I don't know how that's possible, but fortunately that was a couple years ago. Since then, I've been pink eye free. Fingers crossed that streak continues. Princess says I once called off because my cat peed in the laundry basket. Well, first of all, Princess, with the name, the cat, it adds up. It adds up. But I understand this because if you have all of your clothes that are clean in that laundry basket and the cat pees on it, what are you supposed to do? What are you going to do? So I'm actually with you on that. We also heard from Jake, who says, called in because I got a new dog, a new puppy. That's not stupid. That's something it's a puppy. You got to train. You got to be there with it the first few days. Nothing wrong with that. We are a pro puppy show here on the Hudson Show. Carter said I called in because I couldn't open my garage door. That is, I feel like that's valid in a way, but I also feel like you just didn't want to go to work to that day. You know, like Uber exists, right? We also heard from Regina reacting to my stupidest reason I've called out of work, which is that I had pink eye. She says, nothing wrong for calling off of work for having pink eye. Last I knew, that's contagious. It is. And if you have pink eye, I certainly don't want you in the building with me. I understand. I'm not saying that it wasn't a worthy reason. I'm just saying that it's a stupid reason. It's a stupid thing to have happen to you when you're a grown man, which some would consider me even to this day. Also, good one coming in here from Andrew, who says he called off of work because his car got repossessed. Andrew. So I feel like you may not have actually told the truth when you had to call off of work, right? Is that reasonable to assume? Speaking of that, actually, we had a RadioU employee here. This was years ago. The guy was calling in. He said, hey, I can't come into work. I can't find my car. It must have been stolen. And we go around about with this for a while. And I'm like, which car are you talking about that's been stolen? Because I'm looking at one of yours right here. And sure enough, so that he did not realize the day before he had his girlfriend pick him up from work. And they went out somewhere, left his car behind at work, and then he forgot that he left it at work. So he actually did wind up showing up, which is shocking, because if that happened to me, if I forgot I left my car at work and I was like claiming it was stolen, I think that would have been my last day at work. I don't think I would have been able to come in that day or ever again, because that's so embarrassing. We had Nicole get in with a good one. Nicole said, I was late for work because I got stuck in the blood pressure machine at the grocery store and couldn't get out. Do they even still have the blood pressure machines? I know this has actually happened to me too. Sometimes those blood pressure machines, they get a little too aggressive and there's no one to help you out. Plus it's super embarrassing. Like I'm assuming, Nicole, you're probably young too. Like, why are we even checking our blood pressure? We're fine. Why were we doing that? But lesson learned there. Also, Spencer said, I once made my mom have to call off of work when I was a child because I shoved a mint up my nose. She had to take me to get it removed. That's no good. But you know what? As a mom, she did the right thing, and I'm glad you're okay. You lived to tell the tale without a mint stuck up your nose. It's our Monday tradition on the Hudson Show, the box office breakdown. Looking at which movies made money in theaters over the weekend and which did not. Number one at the box office this weekend. No surprise necessarily that it's number one, but it is a surprise how much more money it made. Inside Out 2 made another $100 million. Now in North America alone, it's over $355 million. A smash hit for Pixar. So that did very well once again. Yet again, fulfilling the prediction here on the Hudson Show that we did last Friday for the weekend watch list. The Inside Out 2 is going to be the movie of the summer. Clearly, the moviegoers agree. Number two at the box office, another movie that's been out for a couple weeks now. That is Bad Boys Ride or Die. That made $18 million. Number three is the first new release on the box office list this week. That is The Bike Riders. That's a new movie with Austin Butler and Tom Hardy, where they're like a biker gang and there's debauchery and whatever. That made $10 million. The Garfield movie was number 4, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was number 5. Did you see anything this weekend or recently? Just let me know at 8772 RadioU if you got any good recommendations, anything good you got to see recently. The one movie that I watched recently, I watched Spider-Man Homecoming. Why? Because I was out at a restaurant that was superhero themed. They were playing Spider-Man movies in the restaurant, and it made me think, I want to watch the best Spider-Man movie, which to me is Spider-Man Homecoming. Although I say that, I hadn't seen Spider-Man Homecoming since it came out in theaters. So it's been a long time, several years. I don't know what year it came out, but it was years ago. And even when I saw it then, I was like, this is the best Spider-Man movie I've seen. But I was interested to see when I recently watched it, how would it hold up? Still just as good. There's a lot of things I forgot about the movie. I forgot that Zendaya was not Spider-Man's initial love interest. There was another gal. I did remember that Michael Keaton is the Vulture. This is, I guess, a spoiler a bit. He is the father of the gal, but I thought he was Zendaya's father this whole time. So obviously there's a lot of crossed signals for me there. But other than that, just the high school Spider-Man is such a better tactic to take. And I'm worried as Spider-Man grows up that it's just not going to be the same. But going back to that first Spider-Man Homecoming, so good. And a lot of comedy in there too. Like, it's just one of the funniest actually Marvel movies, especially when he gets that new Spider-Man suit. So Spider-Man Homecoming, yes, I'll say it, still the best Spider-Man movie that has been made. Has anyone had this experience recently? A lot of Walmarts getting remodeled. The one closest to me was remodeled a couple months ago, and for the first time since it's been redone, I stepped foot inside it and had like a Walmart shopping trip. And, well, let me sum it up by saying I don't like it. First of all, they have locked up way more stuff. They made it way harder for me to steal. But I walked past the beauty section, all the makeup and whatnot, and all of it, absolutely everything was locked up. They even had like an associate station there where they had a person that was kind of, I mean, I guess they could check you out, but also to keep watch over all of the stuff, in addition to the cameras that they already have that ding when you walk by. And you might be wondering, Hudson, why are you in the beauty section? You think I have this flawless skin naturally? No, it doesn't work like that. Not only that, but they also have redone all the clothing sections in the store so that they have like displays, like it looks like a Dick's Sporting Goods, you know, where they like the mannequins and everything, or maybe like a JCPenney, because yeah, that's working so well for JCPenney. But I'll tell you, the worst part of it all was I felt my true colors, because, you know, Walmart de-emphasizing the self-checkout, trying to get more people to go to actually have human cashiers. And the shame I felt as I was getting ready to check out, and they have the associates standing at the end of checkout aisles, the associates that have nobody in line. Would you like me to check you out, sir? And I look at them dead in the eyes with my cart full of stuff and walk straight past them to the self-checkout. I found my true colors there, and I hated it. So I'm a Target man now. I'm up here with you after staying up late last night to watch the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 7, Florida Panthers beat the Edmonton Oilers. And I was trying to figure out last night and into this morning why Game 7 in a hockey series, particularly when it's the actual final for all the marbles, what makes it so much more special than other sports? Because many people would say that even if they aren't the biggest hockey fans. And I know for me, I am a hockey fan in many ways. However, there's been a lot of the playoffs that I've just totally tuned out of. And yet last night, Game 7, Stanley Cup Final, you know I was going to be watching. And after taking it all in last night, I just think it's the best situation in sports. Not only the game is amazing, all the intensity, the tension that you can feel, even if you don't have a real rooting interest, just the players, how you can tell and you can see the look on their faces of how into it they are and how much it means to them. But I also realized last night that the NHL Finals is the only thing where I make a point to watch after the game too. Once the NBA Finals are done, once even the Super Bowl trophy, I don't care about those presentations. But what I do care about is the Stanley Cup trophy presentation. And then as the players all across the ice each get their turn skating that trophy around. And here's what I've come to. One, the reason it's better than the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl is too corporate. The Super Bowl is not, it's at a neutral venue. Your fans are there, but it's not the same as being on your home ice, or even worse when you're hosting the other team and they wind up winning the Stanley Cup. Just, it makes for an incredibly different environment. Two, more so than the NBA, the NHL, way more team focused, way less about the individuals. And it's just about all these guys working together, buying in, similar to baseball and football. So baseball is the only one that comes close to me. But I just think, so much physical intensity, so much injuries and just all that buy-in that you have to go through an entire season with your guys. And it all comes to the end. And probably for me personally too, playing hockey growing up, maybe there's still a little bit of a boyhood dream there. That was the one trophy that felt attainable, even though it is the hardest trophy to win in all sports. And so I just love seeing people finally get to climb that mountain. But nevertheless, just the best scene in sports last night. Congrats to the Panthers on their Stanley Cup win. And now we just get into the dog days of summer. Baseball, baby. And, I guess the Olympics, too. If you've ever gone an entire flight without looking at your phone, without reading a book, without watching any in-flight entertainment, without listening to a podcast, congratulations. You've successfully, what is now known as, raw dogged it. And if that sounds insane to you, to many it is, but it is a growing trend, particularly it seems among men on TikTok and social media. It was all started by a guy who simply goes by West, who actually was just interviewed by GQ, who claims that he has, again, raw dogged it is what they call it, for a 21-hour flight where he would not do anything on his phone except seemingly film himself. But other than that, just sit there and stare at the flight tracker screen on the back of the seat in front of him. And that's it. Now, while there are many that are curious about this and this trend is picking up speed, there's also a lot of people making fun of it, saying that, guys that want to do this are stupid. I think it's partly because of the name, because it is, a little crass. But I also think, I don't think this is such a bad idea. I'm not going to do it. I have much too much of a frantic mind. I couldn't sit there for 21 minutes, forget about 21 hours, and not have some kind of entertainment to pacify me. However, I think taking the initiative and just sitting there with your thoughts as a guy or a gal actually could be useful. We used to do that a lot more back in the day. At least that's what I think before we had phones. Now we're all constantly having something beamed into our faces. Maybe we don't always need that. Maybe we can just sit there for at least a few minutes on a flight or just in life and think. Fired or hired, it's on the Hudson Show on RadioU. Whether you have a workplace dilemma you want some help with, or whether you want to chime in with your advice for today's situation, the number is 8772 RadioU. Here we have a guy who says, my coworker and I share a wall. I'm at the front desk and her office is next to mine. Recently, she confronted me to ask why I never say, bless you, when she sneezes. She was genuinely upset and thought I was out of line. I thought this was odd. For one, I don't usually go out of my way to say it unless it's a child. Also, it feels weird to yell into someone's office. It's not like she's in the same room with me most of the time when it happens. This was about a month ago. And then this week, my boss mentioned that someone had told him I wasn't courteous when people sneeze. Is this actually a problem? Am I being rude? This is simple. Do you need to bless someone when they sneeze, your coworker, particularly when you're near each other, but you're not in the same room? What's the protocol here? 8772 RadioU. Weigh in with your advice for today's fired or hired situation. We'll see what people are saying. I have some strong opinions on this. We heard from Kelce, who says nothing wrong with someone saying bless you. Also, nothing wrong with not saying it or saying it only some of the time. They need to stop trying to police your actions and words. Regina, oh, good grief. I wish my office had issues this small. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm used to telling people bless you, but it's really no big deal if they don't say bless you. And the boss getting involved is silly. I also really like this one from Calvin. I always love the solutions-oriented guy. Put a sticky note that says bless you on her desk so she always has it. That actually, although it's a joke, I think, that actually might be your best move in this scenario. Brittany says, who died and made her the manners police? Does she have a life outside of work? I'm serious. Maybe she hasn't been on the receiving end of a bless you and she craves a human response. Maybe she's pushed everybody around her away by constantly wanting a bless you. That's me there. And then we also heard from Derek, who says your boss also seems like a problem here. Instead of shutting down that crazy coworker, they validated her by bringing it up to you. Yeah, that's actually insane. Robbie says, I never say bless you when someone sneezes because it goes back to superstition from back in the day. That's what I always think too. It's not that I'm anti-bless you. If someone blesses me, that's fine. But I normalize not saying bless you because it's just an old school thing. And normally I like a lot of old school stuff, but most old school things died out. And for some reason, we're keeping bless you around. I don't understand. It doesn't change anything about what happens. No, everybody doesn't have to acknowledge your sneeze. What does she do when she coughs? What do we need? What do we do when she, like all these other bodily function sounds she may make? Do we have to acknowledge them all? Just, you guys aren't even in the same room. I think it's a problem. Your boss is bringing it up. I say this goes for everybody. Normalize not saying bless you. I'm fine with getting blessed, but what is the point? What's actually the point? Who are you helping? I have Nikki here with me. Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning.
And Nikki, the last time we talked, you told me about some plans that you had that you're very excited about. And I know that since we talked, those plans have taken place.
It happened.
And that was, you were so excited to try Jollibee for the first time. Is that how you say it? Jollibee?
Jollibee.
Jollibee. It's a restaurant. So you've been, I haven't. Tell me about Jollibee.
Well, okay, this goes back to, do you remember you and I every so often would have this conversation with you guys, the listeners, of like, what is the best fast food place? And like, what's the one that you haven't had a chance to try that you want? And there's so many people that are like, hey, I've never been to In-N-Out, or you haven't been this, or Whataburger and all that stuff. And there's always been this one floating around called Jollibee. And it's a Philippines-based like fast food restaurant, and it's incredibly popular in different parts of the world. But then when you get to the United States, there's some states that have a lot of them, but we just were never in an area near a Jollibee. And I'm an hour, it's like 45 minutes away from it.
Okay.
And one toll. I had to pay a toll to get to it. And I was like, I am going to Jollibee. So I did go.
So were you in the area anyways, or did you have
I had time to kill.
a Jollibee trip?
I had time to kill, and I was like, I'm not proud, okay? Don't dissect it, because it's just going to make it sad. I had some time to kill, and I was like, hey, okay, I've wanted to go to Jollibee, and I made it happen, because I wanted to try their fried chicken. It was supposed to be really good.
Yeah. I've seen, I think, the fried chicken from Jollibee. So is that what you ordered? You just got fried chicken? Did they have anything like...
No. Do you want to know how much? We got a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Anybody want to guess how much Jollibee cost me? I'll tell you what I got. Well, is anything good?
$3.
Okay, let me go to the list.
Probably not.
No. We got like, just because I was like, I can take everything home. So we got 2 chicken sandwiches, a chicken sandwich, spicy chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
A Hawaiian hamburger thing.
Whoa, what is that pineapple on it?
Yeah, it had pineapple.
Of course.
And then chicken tenders, of course. Chicken tenders, a bucket of their fried chicken, a couple of sodas, and they had like an ube pie.
What does that mean? I think
it's like a purple, the filling. It's like one of those McDonald's pies, but it's a different filling.
Got it.
And throw in like some French fries and maybe some mashed potatoes. So like that was it. That's a lot of food.
Doesn't Jollibee have spaghetti?
I didn't get the spaghetti.
I feel like that's part of the experience.
I know I should have, but okay, back to how much do you think that all cost?
That sounds like a lot. So I hope it lasted you a while, but I don't know. What was that, like $40?
Oh, higher.
Hold on, a bucket of chicken, like 3 sandwiches and a pie. Yeah.
It was $72.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
I was so embarrassed.
Is that worth it? Was it worth it?
It was, except for the chicken sandwich was fantastic. Like, you would absolutely love the Jollibee chicken sandwich.
Better or worse than Popeyes? Was it in the Popeyes neighborhood?
I actually think it was better, because Popeyes sometimes weirds me out. It's a quality issue.
Yeah.
it's a quality concern. But this was really clean, really nice, like a big family sort of restaurant. The hamburger was not good. It was kind of like a boiled sort of hamburger sort of taste.
Yeah.
And the chicken tenders wasn't the best, but the chicken, like the fried chicken bucket and the chicken sandwich was phenomenal. You would totally love it.
Oh, man. Well, if I ever find a Jollibee, I will definitely have to give it a shot.
You would love the fried
Yeah.
chicken sandwich. It was spicy too. It was really good.
I think I'm like you. I think 45 minutes is about as far out of my way as I'm willing to drive to a fast food restaurant.
45 minutes.
Yep, that's my limit.
And a toll.
And a toll. But you know what, Nikki?
Technically 2 tolls because I had to pay to come back.
That's right. Oh, that's what a ripoff. On top of the $72.
It was expensive, but it was so good. And I'm so glad I checked it off because, I mean, we all have like our bucket list of food places you want to try. So I was excited to finally try Jollibee. I don't know if I'd go back, but if I was around the area, I would.
Well, let me tell you, Nikki, I recently also tried something new. I don't know if it's as exciting as Jollibee, but I want to tell you about it coming up next.
Okay, I can't wait.
We're back with Nikki, who just relayed her experience of going to Jollibee, the fast food restaurant, for the first time. Mm-hmm. And now, Nikki, I've got to let you know the new food that I tried recently. I just had Spam for the first time.
Did you? Oh, that's tough. I've never tried it. I've always
never
wondered.
had it, huh?
No.
Nikki, when I tell you...
You know me. I don't have things out of a can like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It doesn't seem like you. But when I tell you that the Spam was shockingly good...
Is it?
And I would actually eat it again 100%. I ate an embarrassing a percentage of the tin of Spam when it was made because it was actually really good. The caveat is I got, and I don't even know if this is like in season now, but I had maple Spam.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it actually was. It was
a little sweeter.
How would I like it? It's almost like somewhere between sausage and bacon because you can get it kind of crispy if you want if you cook it long enough. But like sausage has that like grainy texture, right?
Yeah.
Like it just has its own texture, but Spam just like melts away in your mouth. It's just like chewing on nothing. And then of course it was maple, so it had the flavor of a good maple sausage. And so, yeah, I was shocked at how much I actually liked Spam.
May I ask what you had it with? Was it just the Spam out of the can? Like, did it get heated up? Or was it with eggs or like pasta or what?
I just ate it. I fried it up in a pan.
Ooh.
And
is this a diet thing? Are you back on low carb as well? Or?
No. I just, it was with some friends at the grocery store. We were perusing the clearance.
Was it a dare?
Was one can of maple Spam that was marked down because, normally Spam is too expensive for me. But when I saw it on clearance, I was like, well, yeah, I'm willing to spend $1.72 to find out. And so that's
Big
what happened.
Spender.
Yeah.
I love it. You're like, how much did you spend on this? $1.72.
Yeah.
I always wanted to try it because people love it. It just always weirded me out, the can part of it.
Right.
And it kind of just goes plop, like it plops out. And then it has, I feel like it would have like that fat sort of jelly thing around it.
It actually didn't have that.
It doesn't have it?
No, I think what we're picturing, right, and what I was picturing until I got it out of the can is cat food. Right?
Yes,
like that's what I was thinking, but it's not like that. It's not like that. So
that jelly sort of ooky stuff that just gets around it because it's in a package.
Yeah,
so.
it didn't have that. So that's what I was worried about, and it wasn't like that at all. And so
you're
I was
a
actually
Spam person now. You can go to Costco and get it for pretty cheap.
Yeah, I bet you. I ate probably like half the can by myself, which feels like a lot when you actually get it out and cook it. But I could definitely see it lasting a long. It could be a pretty affordable meal option. I could see some good, like putting on a sandwich or something like that. I feel like there's a lot of possibilities now that I'm a Spam aficionado.
Well, I'll let you know if I get to that point. But I've always wanted to try it out of curiosity, but I've not yet. But people do love it, so it's got to be good.
Look at us branching out, trying new things.
I know, aren't we just so... What's the word? Adventurous, desperate for something to do.
Some people call like hiking, like they're climbing Mount Everest and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm adventurous." We're like, "Well, yeah, I tried Spam and Jollibee. I'm a pretty adventurous guy."
Hey, I'm telling you though, don't put Jollibee as the same as trying Spam. All right, one's a restaurant, one's over there. I sat down in it. Yours is out of a can. It's on the other side.
We are getting closer and closer now that hockey's done, basketball's done. All that's left to think about is football. Maybe you're getting your fantasy football draft ready. Well, you might want to think twice because a new study has been done out of the UK where they analyzed people that play fantasy sports, and what they found was very interesting. They found that the more invested, the more time you spend playing fantasy sports, the more, whether you're financially invested or just emotionally invested, the more obsessed you are with fantasy sports, they found that you are more likely to have high levels of a positive mood. And the playing fantasy sports can make you very, very happy. However, they also found, paradoxically, that people who spent the most time playing fantasy sports also had the most significant mental health concerns, where people would report high levels of stress and anxiety. Basically, you get the highs, you also get the lows. What I'm learning from this is I don't think this applies not just to fantasy sports, but to life in general. You just can't get emotionally invested in anything because it probably will eventually upset you and cause you anxiety, no matter how happy it makes you. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.